It's almost time to go back racing here at Macau. We've had a bit of an interval whilst barriers have been repaired, whilst the track has been cleared. And it means that the Galaxy Entertainment Macau GT Cup is going to have to be run over a slightly shorter duration. So we're 8 laps, not 12. It's going to mirror the original intention of yesterday's race, but the cars are on the grid. The grid itself is going to be a couple of cars light, such was the damage in the first race yesterday. Mauro Engel will line up on pole position, and a very animated Raffaele Marciello is going to be with him on the front row of the grid. David Addison and Alan Hyde watching on and looking at not only a grid, Alan, that is full of star drivers this year, which is good to see, but also a grid full of different brands, different shapes, different sizes, and most importantly of all, cars that make fantastic noises.
Thank you very much indeed. What a great intro. And what a great race we had yesterday from the car that we were just looking at, which was the Lamborghini. And that's the car of Ling Kang. And now we're looking at Mr. Macau, Eduardo Mortara, the return to Macau, the very welcome return to Macau. And you're quite right, the symphony of different sounds from these cars, particularly around the gear circuit, because it bounces, street circuit, so it's got hard surfaces all around, it bounces around. I remember the first ever Singapore Grand Prix, and for the second half of the Grand Prix, I had finished work. So I got on a tube and went a few stops on the tube, on the metro, and emerged in another part of Singapore, and I could still hear the racing. And that's what happens at street circuit. It's amplified. It becomes an orchestra, and that's what we make no apologies for saying that we have been very much looking forward to this race, David and I, and we are looking at the field. We're back to the number 88 car of Chang Qian Shang in the Mercedes AMG. They are about to get themselves helmeted and into the cars. The car of Louis Chiren in the Lamborghini Huracan, the 23 black and yellow Lamborghini. But we mentioned briefly that we have the return of global stars of GT racing. We mentioned the return of Eduardo Mortara. Well, yesterday didn't go quite according to plan for Eduardo Mortara. We'll come on to that in a couple of moments. But the return also of Mauro Engel. He won the race yesterday. Raffaele Marciello in another Mercedes AMG as well. A star of Macau and a star globally as well. A champion this year in GT racing. Alexander Imperatori in a Porsche. It's mouth-watering, the prospect of the Macau GT Cup Galaxy Entertainment race about to get underway in the sunshine here at Macau. We can't wait for this.
There's an awful lot to look forward to. Now, we better do a little bit of tidying up after yesterday, because first of all, there was a sizable accident at the first corner that interrupted the race. 4 cars involved, 2 of which are missing. Darrell Young's, sadly, very broken Craft Bamboo Racing Mercedes not able to start, and the broken Porsche of Min Heng missing. But Adley Fong's Audi, I think, has been repaired, and so is that of Frankie Cheng, or at least that was the plan, although Frankie Cheng is missing from the grid as well, I noticed. Adley Fong is there. Frankie Cheng was meant to be on the grid. That car hadn't been withdrawn officially, but hasn't made it, as far as I can see, to the grid. So 3 maybe of the 4, unless he starts from the pit lane, missing. There's Adley Fong's Hello Kitty Audi, which has been repaired overnight. So that was one story. The other was Eduardo Mortara. Pole position after a demon lap in Q2, and then it all went wrong just at the start of the formation lap. The leading car set off, there it is, and as it moved away, so did Eduardo Mortara, before the green lights and the green flags were shown, and that contravened a regulation. The start was therefore aborted, nobody else was allowed away, and Mortara, when he got back to the line, was told he had to start from the pit lane. Well, then the argument ensued. They couldn't get the car into the pit lane other than send him round again and delay things. So he was held on the grid and made to start at the back of it, which put him in a pretty foul mood. And I suspect even after the race, he would have been about as much fun as an open grave. But he stormed his way back into contention, helped by the accident at the first corner anyway. And after a very impressive drive yesterday, Eduardo Mortara ended up in 4th place. And Alan can make progress again from there now.
Yeah, he didn't quite make it onto the podium,
No.
which would have meant that he would have been in the press conference. I, for one, would have quite liked to have heard from Eduardo Mortara after that race. I certainly would not have wanted to have been the person asking the questions, because the questions would have had to have been relating to the start of the race.
But, I mean, really, we know what he did wrong. He went before he should. Simple as that. It was interesting that the start was aborted rather than just get on with it and give him a drive-through penalty, for example. But that's down to the race officials. But the net result is that he finds himself now on the second row. This is the feature race, of course. This is the one that all the attention is on. It's a shame that we've lost 3 cars from that grid, and especially given that one of them, Darrell Young, was the winner last year and put so much into this event.
Well, it was the story that the team had to work hard on the car overnight last year to repair the car, and it was one step too far to do it 2 years running. So, yeah, big shame for Darrell Young. He is a very, very quick driver around Macau, and it would have been good to have him here. However, we are not short of talent on this grid. Can I mention again the number 4 Lamborghini of Ling Kang? He was a star for me in that race yesterday. Got off the line brilliantly well, was challenging for a podium position by turn 1 and ended up on the podium. So very, very good drive that by the Lamborghini driver.
The defence that he put in against star drivers, especially Mortara, was mighty. I know he was overtaken by Marciello, but even so, it was a great effort. And Ling Kang, when he raced in Europe in Formula 3 a few years ago, didn't look that convincing, but he certainly developed into a very handy GT racer.
Well, it would have been really easy when he was defending from the likes of Eduardo Mortara to make a mistake, and that didn't come.
No. 3 minutes until the start of the formation lap. Rolling start, of course. So, blue Mercedes, Engel, silver and red Mercedes, Marciello. Very Audi-liveried Audi, Eduardo Mortara. And I think he will get the jump on Kang Ling off the start of the race, but we will see.
Mauro Engel gets every bit about being a racing driver, doesn't he? So many drivers at this level of sport would be now in the zone, cameras there, ignore the camera, keep looking forward, visualising the start of the race. Mauro Engel, he's got a moment, quick wave. Everyone's watching around the world, quick wave for the camera, and then back to preparations for the start.
But part of that comes from a couple of years spent in V8 supercars in Australia, but equally you have to have the temperament to get into that in the first place. He's raced all over the world. Of course, he raced in the UK. Mauro Engel was runner-up in the British Formula 3 Championship to Marco Asma from memory, going back a good few years, and has raced in the DTM, raced in Australia in V8s, raced all over the globe, winning as well in GT cars. He's twice a winner of the GT Cup at Macau. So the field then preparing for the formation lap start. And Edo Mortara, now that he's on the second row of the grid, can watch how it's done as the front row waits and then pulls away on instruction. The idea being that the leading car gets a bit of a head start, then you can accelerate and catch up to it.
Keeping the cars as cool as possible, and Marciello has got both doors open in order to get a through breeze before the start of this race. It is warm. It's 27 degrees now here at Macau. Sunshine, a little bit of cloud. It's less humid than it was before, down to 73% humidity. That's still pretty humid, but it was as high as 88% a little bit earlier on. But now the final few members of the teams leave the grid. They leave these glorious machines. GT3 machinery around Macau is spectacular. Settle in, get comfy, and enjoy this over 8 laps now rather than the scheduled 12.
And that changes the dynamic again, because it means that they can push harder on the tyre, but also they've got less time in which they need to do the overtaking. So Mortara, Marciello have got to be on their toes to get as good a start as possible. and the leading car is about to accelerate away. And as it does so, you see, wait,
Stay, everyone,
wait,
stay.
yeah, because there's no green light. There is now, and now the green flag, and that means that it's safe to go.
And there was even a moment of hesitation by Maro Engel just to make sure he was absolutely right when to lead the field around. And now it's down to business. That camera hasn't looked as good anymore this weekend, has it?
No, it had a bit of a scare yesterday.
It did,
Camera, when
yeah.
it was very nearly knocked into the middle of next year's event, but it has been propped up, the locked-off camera, ready to show the cars blast through Reservoir Bend. So Maro Engel on pole position, Raffaele Marciello second. There is Lin Kang for third on the grid, Eduardo Mortara ahead of Alex Imperatori, and then the Ferrari of David Chen with seventh on this grid, being the Mercedes of Chang Chen Shang. Then there is Louis Xi Ren's Lamborghini, Andy Zheng is on the fifth row with Leon Yan Feng, or Kelvin Leung as he prefers, 10th on the grid. On the sixth row is Tao Chi, and alongside another of the Audis, Ewe Hua, with then the grid completed by Adderley Fong in the... You're going to say Hello Kitty Audi at this point.
In the Hello Kitty Audi.
Thank you. See, I know how much you like that car. I was giving you the chance.
It's my favourite livery of any.
Because?
It's got a Hello Kitty on it.
Fair enough. Not that it's bright and colourful, just the Hello Kitty bit.
I'm afraid so, yeah.
Glad I started this now. So up the hill they come, and Maro Engel jinking left and right to get warmth into the Michelin tyre. Now, the majority of international GT racing is on a Pirelli tyre these days, but it's a Michelin tyre for here, which has perhaps a greater scope for setup. It works in a different way from the Pirelli tyre, and gives perhaps, as I say, just a broader spectrum for the setup of the car. Works in a slightly different way. So the drivers quite like it and have become used to it very, very quickly as a professional driver would. There's this year's Spa 24 Hours winner, this year's GT World Challenge Europe Endurance Cup winner, Raffaele Marciello, ADACG Masters, GT Masters champion too, and a former F3 Euro Series title winner, making his way then now out of the Solitude S's, and the moment they'll wiggle their way down towards Police and then the Moorish Hill section of the circuit. They are big beasts, and they make Macau look even narrower.
They are wonderful. A real joy around the gear circuit. In theory, if you wrote this down on paper, you'd say, no, I don't think we do that.
Yeah. But
we do.
Year after year after year, we do. So
great entertainment value.
Mercedes, Lamborghini, Ferrari, Audi, Porsche. Good varied grid. BMW as well, although Calvin Leung missed Q2 with a drama, but that car is represented, which is good to see. Down towards the Melco hairpin they come. And as I think we said during one of the qualifying sessions, if you've never seen a car breathe in, this is where it does it, coming out of the hairpin, because it is so narrow, and boy, do you need a good line and good lock to get around there without drama.
They do it with seemingly easy around the Melco hairpin, and it is far from easy. I've seen a Formula 3 car have to do a three-point turn on a demonstration lap at the Melco hairpin, and you get these big GT3 cars around Melco. Well, it's a unique part of the world, isn't it? It's a unique race circuit, this.
So rolling start, which means that they'll now start to get themselves into that 2x2 Noah's Ark formation, coming down towards the Arl Bend. The blue Mercedes then will have the inside line, Maro Engel's car, for turn one of Reservoir Bend, with alongside Raffaele Marciello. Eduardo Mortara, you could argue, also is on now the wrong side of the grid. The leading car, the pace car as it is, peels into the pit lane. Up towards the timing line they come. For 8 laps of drama, the Galaxy Entertainment Macau GT Cup then is underway any second. Now, lights change, we go racing. Imperatori dives for the inside line, Mortara to the outside. Marciello goes toe-to-toe with Engel on the outside line. They're absolutely together. Marciello keeps on coming. They rub, they lead on each other twice, 3 times, 4 times. Marciello is not getting out of the way. Mortara gets a toe off the pair of them. They lead on each other again as Marciello gets the race lead, goes through. That was brave, brave, stuff, and the testicularly enhanced Raffaele Marciello leads into Lisboa.
Wow, oh wow. How many times did they have a little light touch between the two of them? That was extremely exciting, and it's far from over yet. So Raffaele Marciello is in front of Mauro Engel, the reverse of the order they were in yesterday. Past the Lamborghini has gone Edoardo Mortara, so in turn he's on the back of the Mercedes of race winner from yesterday, Mauro Engel. That was very exciting indeed.
Absolutely fantastic racing, that. No wonder Raffaele Marciello is so well regarded by Mercedes AMG, by GT fans. You've just seen another example of why. So he knew he had to hit the front on that first lap, and boy, did he do that to perfection. On the dirtier line around the outside, then the road came to him. Credit to Mauro Engel as well for the defence, but you know, it was very hard racing, but it was just about fair between the two. But now that Marciello has hit the front, he's trying to get away.
He is. He's already got a little bit of a gap, and Mauro Engel is needing to look in the mirrors because the Audi of Edoardo Mortara is right there. In turn, having a really good start was Alexander Imperatori in the Porsche. Very, very quick off the line and up there into fourth place behind the Audi. So the top four head through Donna Maria. That's done. They're into Melco, the hairpin. Threading the car around is Marciello. Everybody else follows suit. The Lamborghini, therefore, down in fifth place after Mortara and the Porsche of Imperatori have gone through. But Marciello continues to march on.
He does indeed, but can Mauro Engel come back at him? Mortara has fallen away by a length or two, has he not, in third place in the Audi. Fourth is Alex Imperatori in the Porsche. Fifth is Lin Kang in the Lamborghini, but what a lap by Marciello. So as he comes up towards the timing line, the animation we saw on the grid, all of that adrenaline put to good use. He leads, Engel second, Mortara there, third, Imperatori fourth in the Porsche, but it's a Mercedes AMG 1-2 as they come for the second time in this 8-lap race, this 8-lap dash out of Reservoir Bend, down towards Mandarin. In the background there, you can see Anthony Fong trying to make progress then. He is up into 8th place as over the speedy drive, that's what's hanging in the air. Come the leaders, Marciello, middle of the road to cover off any move from Engel.
It's the two Mercedes AMG through Lisboa with Marciello just ahead of Mauro Engel, then a gap before the Audi of Edoardo Mortara, the driver that topped the times in qualifying. And Mauro Engel was saying in the press conference after qualifying that they had 5 minutes less. He was called over to the weighbridge. The whole plan for qualifying hadn't gone according to plan. And if it had have done, he was pretty confident that he could have been on pole position.
Well, the last time he raced here, Raffaele Marciello won the GT Cup. Mauro Engel's won it twice. Edoardo Mortara has won it 4 times, and they are the top 3. So it's a quality top to the order, isn't it? Imperatori 4th, Lee 5th, Chen 6th, Chang 7th, Fong 8th, Liu, and then Zhao to round out the top 10. There is Marciello then with an advantage last time around of just under a second, 0.968, as Engel pushes on, trying to get back onto terms with that leading Mercedes.
So they go oh so close to the barrier on the outside of those 2 right turns at Police, and then Moorish Hill around Donna Maria, hugging the barrier on the inside. These wide cars will now thread their way down to the Melco hairpin.
Oh, Raffaele, what are you doing? He's got it all wrong. Engel goes through, Mortara goes through, Imperatori goes through, and Raffaele Marciello is going to try and do a U-turn and get going, and he threw that away, missed his braking point, and Raffaele Marciello's heroics have come to nothing.
Well, it was tremendously exciting to see them side by side, and Mauro Engel stayed with Marciello, a little bit of a gap between the two of them, and then the gift at the Melco hairpin, the gift of Raffaele Marciello going straight on, getting it wrong at the Melco hairpin. See how important that part of the circuit is, getting it right.
Safety car deployed, but you're absolutely right. That's the a rare occasion that Raffaele Marciello makes a mistake. It's been a significant one. The safety car is deployed, and that is to try... Oh, it's not just because of Marciello, it's the BMW of Calvin Leung that stopped on the track. Now this, if he can get going and stay on the lead lap, might give Marciello a chance to catch the queue, but he's not come through yet. He's still trying to sort himself out. Oh, what a mistake to make, though.
I would like to see the, now we've got the opportunity, I would love to see the start again. That was so thrilling. Marciello and Engel, neither of them giving up, side by side.
You see, although Marciello squanders his race, because he's a pro, he realises that the escape road was better than blocking the track.
Far better option.
So he got out of everybody else's way, gave up the race effectively by doing so. Because had he tried to make the corner and stopped everybody, he would have still been in the lead. But he went up the escape road, also managed to avoid therefore hitting anything or having anybody hit him. But little did he know that the safety car was due, and he's not come over the line, so he's still stuck out at the back of the circuit.
Oh dear, oh dear. Big car to do a three-point turn at the Melco hairpin, isn't it? And yeah, disappointing. Or was there something wrong with the car?
Well, I was just about to suggest, you see errors out of him so rarely. Was it a brake issue? That's why he couldn't slow it down.
Yeah, that does rather raise the question, doesn't it? So, under safety car they are. Mauro Engel it is that leads, winner of the race yesterday. Eduardo Mortara, who had to start yesterday's race at the back of the field, worked his way up to fourth. Now he's second in the Galaxy Entertainment Macau GT Cup.
And Mauro Engel goes through the incident zone, and it's a flatbed that's needed to get that car out of the way quickly. It shouldn't take long to get it out of the way. You've got to get the recovery vehicle to it. Of course, they didn't have many laps to start with, so a safety car is what they did not need. Right, I think it's fair to say Raffaele Marciello is out of the race because the car has not come through again. It might be that he's parked it because he can't turn it round. It might be that he's parked it because he can't win, and it might be that he's parked it because it's got a problem.
I fancy that there might have been a problem there. So behind the safety car, they continue on their way. They're trying to keep as much heat in the tyres as they possibly can as well, under the control of the Lamborghini safety car. Although it's a depleted field, it's no less thrilling.
No, and that first lap has been worth the 4 days, hasn't it?
Yeah.
No, it's just fantastic. Raffaele Marciello versus Mauro Engel.
I'd love to see that again.
Yeah. Right, this is the hairpin, and what we can't quite see from there is where the Mercedes has ended up, just out of the range of the camera, isn't it?
Wow, we always have to take a little moment of reflection during the GT race. Well, why would you not? GT3 cars around the Gia circuit at Macau is always breathtaking, and when you've got the skill level of the drivers that we've got, we have already had enough thrills for a Sunday race for the GT3 cars. There are more thrills to go when the safety car comes in. It's not going to be now.
Right.
So goes on to another lap. They're on lap 3 out of 8. They're going on to the half distance lap now. 3 laps complete.
So can we get that BMW out of the way? Of course, these are quick cars and they are not designed to go slowly. So the safety car is really having to push on, and that doesn't help the clear up operation because effectively there's less time, or not as much time as you might like, in order to do it. You can see the way that they're pushing on just from the sweep left and right. So that safety car is being driven with some gusto.
It's a very quick SUV, is that Lamborghini, and it's been driven. Well, I would imagine they're working pretty hard in that car down towards Lisboa. The squeal of tyres that you're hearing is from the safety car, not from the race car.
Exactly. That's an Urus, absolutely.
It is.
Harry Flatters, isn't it?
Working hard.
Yeah. Right, so we need that the BMW out of the way, and I'm getting a bit concerned about this because I haven't yet seen the flatbed start to move away from that zone. So
it's apparently the choice, the number one choice of Premier League footballers, the Lamborghini Urus. Yeah. Apparently that's the something I was reading the other week. So it leads the field around. Mauro Engel with Eduardo Mortara, Mercedes and Audi. Then the Porsche. Now slow down, because the recovery vehicle is there. The BMW is about to be lifted onto the back of the recovery vehicle. And let's hope.
another lap, isn't it?
I do fear it will be. Yeah, we're on half-distance lap now. It's going to be half-distance complete at the end of this. I reckon it's going to be one more lap.
Yesterday, before the first corner accident, there was also a bit of rubbing that went on between Alex Imperatore and Raffaele Marciello. Somebody had put up on social media a clip of that saying, you know, typical Macau, something's got to change. This is even before the first corner. And Raffaele had replied saying, nothing needs to change. Macau is Macau. Which is a pretty cool attitude.
Did he?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well done. That's a good answer. They love it. It's this massive challenge, an old school motorsport challenge. The circuit doesn't change from year to year.
No, because that speedy dry line there before, or did I just miss it? I was wondering whether that's what caught out Marciello into the road.
Oh, I don't know.
Anyway,
That's a good question.
speed is up again as the cars come down towards the end of this fourth lap. So again, one of the life's frustrations, short distance, and then you end up with the race having to be neutralised like this. So earlier races were able to get their full complement of 12 laps in, almost. I think we had one race that was red flagged on the last lap. But the big delay we've had in clearing up the touring car accident is what's led to this. Plus, of course, they had delays yesterday, but lost racing laps yesterday as well.
Yeah, that completes 4 laps, half distance completed in this newly assigned 8-lap race, not the 12 laps that we were going to enjoy. It's 8 laps. Already we've had our fair share of entertainment from the GT Cup cars. And still, the Lamborghini Urus presses on, doesn't it?
It does indeed. So there's the fields pouring through. And down to Lisboa once more they come. Yellow flag still out all around the circuit. Safety car lights flash as well on the boards. Those lighting panels, which are becoming vogue at circuits nowadays, which is good.
It's always interesting to see when we come to Macau, which of the GT3 cars is going to be the car of choice over the course of the weekend. There's normally one that emerges as the car to have over the course of the weekend, and it certainly has rather looked the way of the Mercedes AMG, and that car has been the car to have around Macau on a number of occasions over the years.
Yeah, Marciello's one, hasn't he? Engel as well with them.
Yeah.
Right, we're heading towards the incident zone. This will give us an idea as to whether or not we can get optimistic.
Ish.
It's on the truck, but the truck needs to go. That could get to the bottom of the hill, but police can't probably park there.
Yes, possibly. Yeah. So still under the control of the safety car. Predictions?
Oh, I'm not a race director. It depends how quickly that truck can move. But I would have thought that you could let them go at the end of this lap, because by the time they get round to police, which is sort of round here, that can be off the track. You need to get the truck through an easy access point. It's no use wasting another lap by doing to and fro into an access point that might be nearer, but is difficult to get into.
We shall see. So they will be thinking, as they have been doing for the entire duration of the safety car intervention. Heat in tyres, it's so vital. Down towards the Melco hairpin they come. And we've got that really high shot there.
That crane moving as well, isn't it?
So,
It's
yes.
moving Marciello's car.
So this is what I was thinking. It's, our camera angle has gone really high, and you see that the boom on the crane is in action. So we're not just dealing with one car, I don't think. So on lap 5 out of 8.
Well, they're not going to let them go, are they?
As long as we're not left with just one lap at the end of this race, that's what we really need to avoid. We are going to go on to another lap. So 5 laps are completed now out of 8. And the widest bit of the circuit now, so keeping temperature in the tyres. Now is a good time to do it. It's exactly what Adelaide Fong is thinking. Weaving that Audi, that spectacularly liveried Audi.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because we talked all weekend about the type of livery that you see on Asian race cars, and yet that, although it's very colourful, it's a very simplistic one. It doesn't have the same sort of chrome or metallic, or don't I even say brashness about it that others do. But
primary colours.
Yeah, very straightforward.
Primary colours and a much-loved character, and that's all you need to get the attention. And make no mistake, this is very much a family event. So there'll be families here, there'll be youngsters that absolutely love that car. They'll be drawing it in school tomorrow and presenting it to teacher as their artwork from the weekend, because it's absolutely brilliant. Superb.
So, Mauro Engel's Mercedes leads Eduardo Mortara's Audi, leads Alex Imperatori's Porsche, leads Lin Kang's Lamborghini for key GT brands in the leading 4 places. In fact, they stretch it to 5 in 5. David Chen's Ferrari next in the queue. So, downhill they drop. And again, as we get towards the incident zone, we await to see what the situation is. Race control team will be looking at the TV pictures, the bank of monitors that they have as well from the CCTV, and the incident reports coming back from marshal's posts to know that this time around they can bring in the safety car and we will be good to go then. So we're going to have 2 more laps of racing. It might not be as many as we wanted, but we will go racing, and Mauro Engel leads the charge.
I'm very pleased about that. We get 2 laps with the GT3 cars, and Mauro Engel, Eduardo Mortara, 2 of the GT stars around the gear circuit, will restart first and second. Do you think that race control told this safety car to speed up on this lap?
I think so, but we did say he was having to push on anyway, but that was a massive understeering moment from the safety car. I know it's easy to mock. They are working incredibly hard here to try and keep snarling race cars at a good speed without making themselves look silly. So fair play to the safety car crew. Safety car driver's done a ripper job out of all of this. Right. On your toes, everybody. 2 laps to go. Mauro Engel versus Eduardo Mortara versus Alexandre Imperatori for the Galaxy Entertainment Macau GT Cup.
The safety car pulls off into the pit lane. The last few moments of weaving the cars. We are about to get the race back underway. 2 laps of the gear circuit here at Macau. Mauro Engel in the Mercedes AMG, the Audi of Eduardo Mortara, the Porsche of Alexandre Imperatori, and then Lin Kang in the Lamborghini.
So we're back racing, green flags fly. This is lap 7 of the 8. 1 more to go at the end of this. Engel leads that charge ahead of Mortara, ahead of Imperatori, and the Mercedes edging away as they come out of Mandarin. Battle on in the background then as Adelaide Fong in the Hello Kitty Audi tries to gain ground at the expense there. Look of Chang Xianshang's Mercedes. Down towards Lisboa comes Engel. Beautifully through, Mortara behind it, then Imperatori in 3rd spot, but Engel just seems to have the answer, doesn't he? Mortara needs to gain a couple of lengths and he can't do so.
No, the Mercedes AMG has been really the car to have this weekend around the gear circuit at Macau that we have said many times previously in recent years. It really is a great car, and it's only tiny fractions that it needs to be ahead, but ahead it is. It's the car to be in at the moment. I will remember the start of this race for a very long time with Marciello and Engel, neither one of them giving up, side by side. They kissed again and kissed again. Absolutely superb action from the 2 Mercedes AMG. It's a shame we haven't got Marciello in the race, but I'm not sure that Engel will be too disappointed, because at the moment he leads. The Audi is still there. Mortara.
He's coming back at him, isn't he? That gap's down. So here are the top two. Engel, then Mortara, Alex Imperatori in the Porsche, not quite being able to live on the back of the R8 as they head up towards Donna Maria now, but Mauro Engel is still in a motor race here. He's still got to think about defending from Mortara, and if Edo can get close enough coming through and exiting the hairpin, then he might just be able to start thinking about a move coming down towards Lisboa. It's got to start here. This is where you need the momentum. This is where you need to try to get close enough to benefit from a toe on that fast section after the pits down all the way through Reservoir and Mandarin towards Lisboa. It is Engel ahead. He was leading by 0.7 of a second at the start of the lap. But again, this is a part of the circuit perhaps where that grunt and go Mercedes can stretch its legs.
Two of the absolute greats of GT racing here at Macau, battling for the win of the Macau GT Cup for 2022. Across the line goes Mauro Engel onto the last lap. Fastest lap on that pursuit lap was Eduardo Mortara, and he means business. The lights are on. See how close he was to the barrier coming out of the corner, and he's going to be staying with Mauro Engel as they go through the ultra-quick Mandarin on the run down towards Lisboa. Mauro Engel, Eduardo Mortara, then we've got the gap before the Porsche. Mortara has a look. He knows it has to happen at Lisboa. He's right on the tail of Engel, but not able to take the place away. What about San Francisco? Weaving all over the circuit. Not quite, not yet.
Big effort, didn't come to anything. Oh, so nearly got into the back of Engel's Mercedes AMG as well as they break for Lisboa. They've shaken off Imperatori as well now, but has Mauro Engel done enough? He's going to be able to control things across the mountain section of the circuit, but it's really whether there's going to be an opportunity into the last corner for Mortara to have a dive. He's got to stay with the Mercedes. That is an absolute given, but this is where Engel now looks as though he might just be able to edge away ever so slightly once again through the S's and then drop down to police. Imperatori, in fact, coming back at them now.
So, Mercedes, Audi and Porsche, you're quite right. The Porsche closer to the back of Mr. Macau. Eduardo Mortara up towards police, through the right-hander at police. See how close they are to the barrier at the exits of police. And out of Moorish Hill onto the left-hander at Donna Maria. This is the last lap. So the last opportunity, the last really good opportunity was for Mortara down at Lisboa. What's the run going to be down from the Melco hairpin? No room for mistake here at the hairpin, at the Melco hairpin. Down they go. Mauro Engel, winner of the race yesterday, the shortened race today. He's got the legs on the Audi. What's going to happen through the last couple of turns? The car skips on the tarmac, so close to the wall on the exit of the corner. But it rather looks as if this is going to be Mauro Engel's weekend.
One corner to go, checkered flag at the ready, another win in the GT Cup for a Mercedes AMG chassis. Mauro Engel wins the Galaxy Entertainment Macau GT Cup. Eduardo Mortara takes second, Alexandre Imperatori takes third. Fourth is Lin Kang, and fifth across the road is David Chen. And drama on the last lap. It is another of the Audis that is in strife, and he's trying to get away. So it is 28, I think, isn't it? That's the slow one. Chao Shi gets going now. So Mauro Engel has done it. Fantastic race while we had them racing. Sadly, not that many laps, but drama all the way. And this is what happened. Self-induced, offline, onto the marbles, into the barriers for Chao Shi. And although he is limping on, he makes it to the timing line 11th and in last place. But Mauro Engel then takes the win. I'd like to know more about Marciello's dramas, whether it was human error or a problem with the car, because it was very unlike Raffaele to make a mistake. You heard the tyre squeal as he came into the Melco hairpin, as though there was just nothing he could do to slow down the car. Anyway. And
you also put that question mark up about the seemingly fluid that had been dressed up at the Melco hairpin and whether that was there before. So, yeah, we'll wait and see. That will come out in the fullness of time. But for now, we celebrate another win of the GT Cup race for Mauro Engel.
So Mauro Engel wins by 0.7 of a second from Eduardo Mortara. Alexandre Imperatori third, Lin Kang fourth, and then Chen Wai and David Chen fifth, ahead of Adderley Fong, Chang Xianqiang and Lu Xiren next up, with Andy Zheng ninth and Wu Ha in 10th place. Raffaele Marciello sadly out, as also was Kelvin Leung. So Mauro Engel does it again. He takes the third win in the Macau GT Cup after a very hard race and a fantastic first lap.
I'm looking forward
battle.
to the highlights. We're going to see that again.
Calm.
I'll watch it again and again.
And again. Whether Mauro Engel wants to see it again, we'll find out.
Don't know.
It's a great job done. And the cars now making their way down towards the pit lane. So Mauro Engel takes that race win, but it was not an easy race, certainly, because he had to control the pace off the grid and fend off Raffaele Marciello, but he couldn't do that, but he was there to profit when Raffaele hit trouble.
So the cars will make their way back to Parc Fermé. There'll be a podium and a post-race press conference as well.
It's not long, actually, only about 15 minutes before the pit lane is going to open for the Formula 4 Grand Prix, the final race of the weekend. It's strange, isn't it? Because you have all the practice sessions over Thursday and Friday, which you need, 2 free practice periods, 2 qualifying periods. But then on Grand Prix day, you have 6-car races, plus the motorbikes. But it seems to be a shorter day, but it's, of course, the day with all the focus on it. And it's astonishing to think that we are just one race away from the end of this 4-day annual Festival of Motorsport here at Macau.
That's a winner, a double winner this weekend at Macau for number 77 in the Mercedes AMG GT3 Evo. That is Mauro Engel bringing the car to a stop in Parc Fermé. Already Edoardo Mortara was down here, and so too Alexandra Imperatori. And the clips are undone. Door already open. Those ultra light doors swing open so easily on these GT3 cars. And Mauro, for now, remains in the car, and in due course will make his way out of the 77 Mercedes AMG. He's ready to do so now. Come on, says Mauro Engel, and second time he's enjoyed this moment with the team in Parc Fermé over the course of this weekend. Great to see the celebrations. That'll mean a lot to the team as well. The Craft Bamboo team offering their congratulations. Mauro Engel, such a nice guy, and being congratulated by Edoardo Mortara. A smile, a couple of words between the two of them, both of them masters of their craft at Macau.
And Alex Imperatori, who still gets a little bit overlooked, but is still a very, very good GT driver, making his way to the podium there in third place. So Mauro Engel, a happy race winner. Raffaele Marciello was saying in the press conference yesterday, wasn't he, that you know, they've all had a week in quarantine to do this. They want to make it worthwhile. It's for Mauro.
And we are so grateful for them to come here. It just adds a whole different dimension to the race weekend. They love coming here. They love the circuit. You mentioned the quote from Raffaele Marciello about it's Macau, it's fine.
Yeah, so, Macau is Macau.
So there is, that's the reason why they're here. They want to be here. They want to race on this circuit, which is unique. It's for the brave, and the feeling of winning is, I would imagine, utterly brilliant.
Darlo Young will be happy because even though he's not raced, his team that he owns with Frank Yu, himself an occasional racer, has taken the honours. You've seen him in the background. There is Mauro Engel then heading forward to be congratulated.
Thank you. You are the champ. You are the champ.
So a delighted Mercedes team and Craft Bamboo Racing taking honours as they did last year, thanks to Darlo Young. So there's the grid forming in anticipation of the last race, that for the F4 Grand Prix coming up. And we'll get to the podium very shortly.
Already the personnel taking to the grid to get ready for the build-up. But before that, we'll enjoy Well, enjoy the start and the highlights of the Galaxy Entertainment Macau GT Cup.
It still looks awesome, doesn't it, that first lap? And the drivers heading to the podium. Formula 4 cars heading out onto the circuit. And in a few moments' time, we will go to the podium. Still to come, not only is there the Grand Prix, the 69th Macau Grand Prix, backed this year by Sands China, but there is the Lion Dance before it as well, and the arrival of the dignitaries for the Grand Prix itself. And that's all coming up. But right now, Mauro Engel heading to the podium, along with Edo Mortara and Alexandre Imperatore. The podium is almost ready. There it is. You look up from the pit lane. The announcements will come in a moment to bring forward the drivers. And once that is done, then the dignitaries can come to present the trophies for the Galaxy Entertainment. And it lived up to its name, Galaxy Entertainment GT Cup.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the podium for the Galaxy Entertainment Macau GT Cup, third place driver, number 11, Alexandra Imperatore. Congratulations. Second place driver, number 10, Eduardo Mortara. And our winner, number 77, Mauro Engel. Congratulations. National anthem for the winner.
Congratulations to Mauro Engel then. A very, very happy race winner. And the Galaxy Entertainment podium girls arrive. So too do the
May I
garlands
please ask
next for the
Ms.
dignitaries.
Christina Sin, Senior Manager of Public Relations, Galaxy Entertainment Group, to present the trophy to our third place driver, number 11, Alexandra Imperatore. Congratulations. And now, may I have the honor to invite Mr. Andrew Lui, Head of Design and Development, Galaxy Entertainment Group, to present the trophy to our second place driver, Eduardo Mortara. And now our winner, number 77, Mauro Engel. Congratulations. Let's get closer to the middle for a group photo. Thank you to our trophy presenting guests. And champagne time for our winning drivers. Let the cork fly.
So the celebrations on the podium, very well received by the team. You can see the joy that result has brought. Maro Engel on the top step of the podium. Off comes the garlands, and following a champagne celebration with the three drivers, they'll be off to the press conference in a couple of moments. Be interesting to hear from the drivers, but a garlandless photo is what's required with the trophies. And Maro Engel, Eduardo Mutara and Alexandra Imperatori, off come the masks. So we can see the smiles. Well, certainly we can see Maro Engel smile. And we'll hear from the drivers in just a few moments in the press room here at Macau.